Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. With song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. With song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set on me, I want no rights in the gloom-filled room, while I cry for a soul set free. Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all part of a master plan, a step on the road to home. And when you're lonely and sick of heart, go to the friends we know, and remember the good times that we shared. Miss me, but let me go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We're here to celebrate the life of James Boggie, who died on the 17th of April. I know that this is an extremely difficult time, and there is a huge sense of loss. Funerals are difficult occasions at the best of times, but the current situation is making the act of saying goodbye to a loved one even harder for families. Normally, there would have been a much larger gathering today of wider family and, of course, the many friends that James made over the years. Unfortunately, all of this is out of our control, but what we can do is to take time to look back over and to celebrate James's life, and take solace in the way that he touched so many people in so many ways. Life is a gift, and a very fragile one at that. It's up to each and every one of us what we do with this gift and how much we get from it. When our time comes, it's not about the material possessions that we have. It's about the love that we've given. It's about the difference we've made to others and the impact we've had on other people. James certainly made an impact on the people that he met during his life. I'm Frank McGarry, and I'm privileged to be invited to lead this tribute today. I know that faith plays a central part in many people's lives, and accordingly, I'll allow time later in the service for you all to remember James in your own way. We're going to hear more about James's life shortly. That will feature a personal tribute from his nephew, Scott. Let's focus today on the human values that we all share, accepting that each of us is unique. We've come together this afternoon from different places. We're all at different stages on our journey through life, and we naturally look at life in different ways. We have, however, one thing in common. At some point, and to various degrees, our lives have all been touched by James. Our lives have all been made richer by knowing him, and the love and the friendship that he gave us can be carried by us always. Your friends today is your own unique tribute to him, and it shows the esteem and the affection that you had for him. So let's take a look back over James's life. James Macpherson Boggie was born in Edinburgh on the 14th of April 1954, the third child of Jimmy and Jean Boggie. At the time James was born, his dad was a labourer and his mum was a busy housewife. The family home was in Pirniefield, and this is where James joined his big sister Janice and his older brother George. The Boggie family would be completed in due course with the arrival of a wee brother Derek. Like most families at the time, money was tight, but this didn't stop James from having a happy childhood, and he enjoyed being part of a close-knit family group who all looked out for each other. He was a boy who loved being outside, playing football with his pals, and only going home if he was hungry or it got dark. James always looked forward to the weekends and the good weather, as his wider family would head to Kinghorn to spend quality time together. These were trips that everyone enjoyed, as it gave them a completely different way of life than they had at home. Unfortunately, tragedy was to strike all their lives when James was just a teenager when his dad died. James initially went to a mainstream school, but transferred to Prospect Bank, where trained staff could look after his educational needs. Like most children, he left school as soon as he could at 15. Earning money was a priority, and he successfully applied for a position as a porter with Bin's department store in Edinburgh. In time, James would move to work with the council in the refuse department. He was usually found going around with his yellow refuse barrow, keeping the streets clean, and I'm told it was a job that he thoroughly enjoyed. He was a popular man with his colleagues, and I know that he was particularly proud when he received his long service award, an engraved crystal vase from the Lord Provost. As James got older, his inner circle naturally began to grow, and he had several nieces and nephews. Over the years, he's always been glad to hear their news. As promised earlier, let's now hear from Scott, who's going to tell us more about his uncle James.
Before I start, as you know, George and Derek are not here today because they can't travel from down south, but Uncle George sent me a message and he wanted me to read it out, so I'll read this first. My brother James was a kind, sweet and gentle man, and it's an honour to call him my brother. James was also a loving man who liked nothing more than being with friends and family and having a laugh. Just being himself, James taught me a lot. James could take or leave technology. So who needs the latest phone? Who needs the latest iPad? These things weren't going to make you happier. But a Hibs win and 3 points, that was happiness. As in a story, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. And James led a good life. James will be missed, loved and remembered, always, George. So, that was for your Uncle George. So, I could probably talk forever about memories of James, and I've scribbled so much down over the past few days and started again, and I thought I've picked out one memory that will always be with me. So, if there was one thing about James, was that I always tried to make him smile, because it always made your visit down to my mum and James's just that extra special day. It just meant it was a reward to see him smile, and forgive me. So if there was one day that I'll never forget, it was James's 60th birthday, and my mum knew it would be a great idea to take James on the Easter Road tour, the home of Hibernian FC, and knew it would be a great idea. So Katie and I, my daughter, took him along Easter Road. Both of us Hearts fans, as most of you know. Kate and I knew this was going to be a tough day, but it was all about James. So we headed off to Easter Road, and James was in a really good mood, and he became even more happy when the Hibs tour guide started the tour, along with another 15 Hibs supporters, and they were all reminiscing about the recent Scottish Cup victory. We glanced over at James, and he couldn't hide his delight, staring at me and Katie, knowing that we were in pain listening to this. But James's smile was from ear to ear, and it just made it worthwhile seeing him stand there as he was. But for me, Katie, it was a pain that we had to endure. So the pain continued round Easter Road. The Hibs happiness continued, talking about bigger stadium, better fans, 7-0, and James kept staring at me and Katie, and he just couldn't stop smiling, and his silence spoke volumes, and all I wanted to say to him was, would you shut up? But he was enjoying his day, and we got lots of pictures taken. But as I say, his silent smile spoke volumes. He was loving this. As for Katie, as I say, it was a necessary pain to endure. But when it was over, and when we were outside, I said, you enjoyed that, didn't you? Not just the tour, but us having to listen to all that hippie happiness. And us being Jambos, it was the toughest 90 minutes of our footballing lives. Tough as it was. And if I had that opportunity to spend one more day with you, James, I would do it all again. But it's time for me to go now, pal. And your mum and dad are waiting for you. Love you, James. You take care, pal. Thanks for listening.
Well done, son. Well good. James lived most of his adult life in Leith, sometimes on his own, but he's been living with his sister Janice for the last 13 years, and she's been looking after him, making sure that he had everything that he needed. He also had a carer called Peter, who regularly took him to the Hibs games. Janice had also organised for day carers to take James out on a Monday, and she's extremely grateful to both Dave and Bridget for all their help. It was around 3 years ago that James was diagnosed with bowel cancer, and he went through both radiotherapy and laser treatment to try and halt the disease. More recently, he contracted an infection, and he eventually became so ill that he was admitted to the Western in the middle of March. Sadly, his condition continued to deteriorate, and he peacefully passed away on the 17th of April at just before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Earlier, I promised we'd stop for a few moments of quiet reflection, and we're going to do that now. As we do so, we're going to listen to a song from Elvis Presley. It's a cover song of the Simon and Garfunkel hit, Bridge Over Troubled Water.
when you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when time gets rough and friends just can't be found, held like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness falls and the pain is all around, yeah, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lead your mind like a bridge over troubled water. I will lead your
Beautiful song. Can I ask you to stand, please? We've now come to the part of the ceremony when we're going to be saying our formal farewell to James. Every living being has a beginning and an end. For each of us, there is a time to be born and a time to die. James, we're so glad to have known and to have loved you. Now, in peace and thoughtfulness, we bid you farewell, and we commit your personality and your character to our memories. Your love and commitment to your family, your concern for others, your friendship, and the great times that we've spent in your company, we'll always remember. Although we're deeply saddened that you're no longer with us, we'll always be grateful for the joy and the happiness that you brought to our lives. And now, in this last act, in sorrow but without fear, and with respect and love, we commit your body to its final end, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Please be seated. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when my life is done. I'd like to leave an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun and remember the happy memories that I leave when my life is done. James's life is one to be remembered with great affection. I hope the ceremony has helped you all to reflect on something about him that's made you smile, and that you've been able to remember him not with sadness, but with memories of happier times. So after you leave here today, please remember James as the unique human being that he was, a loving, caring individual who had a full and an enjoyable life. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon and being part of the celebration of James's life. And as we leave the chapel, our hearts supporters will be glad to know we're going to listen to the Proclaimers singing Sunshine on Leith. Ya beauty.
My heart was broken. My heart was broken. Sorrow, 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 sorrow. My heart was broken. My heart was broken. You saw it. You claimed it, you touched it, you saved it. My tears are drying, my tears are drying. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My tears are drying. My tears are drying. Your beauty and kindness made tears clear my blindness. While I'm worth my room on this earth, I will be with you. The chief with sunshine on Leith, I'll thank him for his work in your birth and my birth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You saved it.